I'd rather estimate my budget, my income on the low end, and then I estimate my bills on the high end. And this cheat sheet is something that I use every single time that I do my budget, whether it's bi-weekly or the monthly estimate, because it just makes it easier to see all the bills that are due, what dates they're due, how much they are, etc., etc. This budget is already scaring me. Hi everybody, thanks so much for clicking on this video and welcome to my channel. I am here to represent the hardworking single parents. On this channel, I experiment with different budgeting styles, savings goals, and I share the strategies I learned along the way. So if that sounds interesting at all to you, please go ahead and click the like button and subscribe to follow my journey. Okay, so today what we're going to do is fill out our September monthly budget. I always try to arrange, what bills might be coming up, what events we have coming up in the month prior to the month. So anything that comes up, I put it in advance. Anything that I think of that I might need to pay for, I make sure that I put in a note that that's going to go into September's budget. So I just need to write out my bills. That's the first thing that I like to do, my bills and my goals. So I have already planned out some of my goals because I'm going to be starting my 12-week year soon. So I know a few of the goals that I already have. If you've never seen my 12-week year videos, please take a look. I do it a little bit untraditional. For me, my brain just didn't work like everybody else. So I just made it easier for me in a way that I score my year, make sure that I'm on track, make sure that I check in every week. It's just a way to do your goals in a span of 90 days instead of trying to do it within a full year, which is much harder to stick to and to be consistent with. And I have some sinking funds that I have planned. So these are little savings that I have that I plan to use, and that's what they're for. They're not like regular savings that you don't touch ever or unless there's an emergency. These are funds that we plan to use. So we have both of our birthday funds are going to be used this month on our hair and some events that I have planned for my daughter's birthday. Her birthday gift for her 16th is really our cruise, but of course I do want to take her to dinner and maybe get her a cake. So she can celebrate with some friends and family. And we're going to use the family fun envelope, maybe. That's for a clam bake that I have that I'm going to schedule in here for work. And then health, I have a couple doctor's appointments, so I'll have some co-pays that I'll have to pay. All right, so the income estimates, I am going to estimate... I'm going to estimate that the first paycheck of the month, which will be on the 8th. So I put a line here because I like to estimate and see what it actually was. That first one, I'm going to say based on the overtime that it will be $1,750. I did get a little raised, so I'm hoping that that's where it will be. If you check back for when I first started my channel, I think my checks were about $1,400. So I have come a very long way ever since I started cash stuffing. All those videos are on YouTube, so if you're interested, take a look. You can see how far you can come over the years. Sometimes we only think about how far we haven't come and not how far we have. So I do like to look back sometimes and see how much progress I've made. So that's $1,725 that I expect to use here. I'm going to estimate for our birthday sinking funds. I will probably use my full $300, and she will probably use her full $300. Just an estimate. It's more than likely that we won't use it all, but I'd rather put in more than less. I will probably pay also for our checked bag. We're only going to check one bag from vacation as far as I know so far. But again, this is just an estimate. I don't know for sure. I'm going to guess about $100 for a checked bag. I'm going to pay for that this month. If I can. I don't know how far in advance I can pay for those. For those of you that are new, this will be our first time flying. Yes, I am 36 years old, just turned 36, and I've never been on a plane. Don't judge me. Judgment-free zone here. But I'm very nervous, so I want to get everything done in advance as much as I can. If you have any first-time travel tips, feel free to let me know because I really don't know how much this is going to cost. So let's see. And then I have life insurance that's going to be due. And that's $12. That's also a sinking fund. So let's see where we are now. 300. I don't know how much for family fund. I don't know how much for health. Let's see. My copay is about $50. And family fun, I might just take that from entertainment or like a weekly budget kind of thing. All right, so I went and took a look, and the total for health will be $56. I might just put that in the budget. We'll see. So let's plan on all the sinking funds, but it'll depend on how the budget goes, if I can take that from the paychecks or if it has to come from savings. So right now that brings me to $768. Running out of room. So that brings me to $768 in savings that I may or may not use. Okay, and I can't fill out how much I'm going to save until we do the budget, so I'll leave that. Next thing that I need to do is go in and fill out my calendar, see exactly what I have to deal with this month. I'm just going to fill this in, and I'll come back to you guys. Okay, so I have filled out the month of September, but for me, I don't go based on a calendar month for my budget because of the way that I separate my bills. I want to make sure that the same bills stay within the same month and they're based on my pay period. So I have to roll into October. September is going to run me from September 8th to October 5th. Let's see, the first starts on a Wednesday. So I'm going to make sure I cover these bills too. The first paycheck of October will be October 6th. All right, so let's fill in the bills that I'm expecting. I am going to try to do this a little differently and try to put the bills in the colors that I do my budget category. Let's see how that works. For example, blue is home, the home category. So whatever that is due for home, I will put in this blue color. Now I can go ahead and get my budget started now that I know when all the bills are due. All right, and this is going to be the September monthly budget projection. I like to call it a projection because I don't know for sure how much the paychecks will be, so it's kind of more of an estimate. All right, so we already said that we are going to estimate payday A as $17.50 and payday B as $17.25, and our sinking funds we have planned, we said $768. All right, so what is the total for the month? $42.43. Now that we have the estimate $42.43, that's what we are going to budget with. I'm a zero-based budgeter, so we're going to plan where every dollar of this expected income is going to go. First thing that I always take out, let me get my cheat sheet. Cheat sheet is something that I use every single time that I do my budget, whether it's bi-weekly or the monthly estimate, because it just makes it easier to see all the bills that are due, what dates they're due, how much they are, etc., etc. It's kind of just my outline map of how things should go in a month. Of course, things change and fluctuate. So for the fixed expenses, we have $16.40 is what we usually plan. Let's see. Yep. So let's plan for $16.40, but then we also have, I have to remember the life insurance. So the life insurance is $12. Let me put my budget notes over here real quick so I remember what to put in here. All right, so life insurance I can put under, it's a semi-annual expense, but I'm going to throw it right in with the fixed. It just makes the math easier. So with the cheat sheet here, normally what I would be using for utilities is $170. Usually in the summertime, the bill is lower, so that's even a credit of like $20, $30 usually. But it's gone up. I'm sure everybody's utilities gone up, but it's definitely gone up way more, and it's not because of the use, it's because of the fees. So not too happy about that, but it is what it is. So let's figure out how much our fixed expenses will be, being that that's the case. All right, automatic saving, that's gonna go, forgot to write that out. 50 goes to the car note account, 150 for car emergency, and $75 for my daughter's graduation in just 2 years. She's a junior this year. It's not 75, it's 150. I forget that that's for the month. All right, so that zeroes out. Fixed expenses, let's do those over here. I'm just going to write them all out so that I don't forget any. All right, let's add these all up and see what we have. All right, so that brings us to $16.80 in fixed expenses, also known as bills. All right, and we know that zeroes out because we just did the math. This budget is already scaring me. All right, that brings us down to $22.13 for the rest. Next thing that has to come out, like I said, is our budget notes. So this would be, should be the $768. All right, so this total is $768. We already used 12. So $756 is coming out for our other expenses. Then I'll give you the breakdown of those. That's $14.57. So we already know that's $300 for a birthday, $300 for the other birthday, $56 from the health sinking fund, and $100 from vacation for the checked baggage fees. All right, that zeroes out. Oof. The next thing based on our cheat sheet is going to be our variable expenses, and those I've taken down to $960 instead of the usual $1,000 per month. So let's see what's going to come from our variables. I'll write that out because that might be different this month too. $100 for gas. This is for the month, I have to remember. Groceries and toiletries. $430. The price of everything is going up, and it's scaring me, but this is why budgeting is so important. People think that budgeting is limiting. It's really not. This is the only way I have the freedom of my mind to know that everything that needs to get paid is going to get paid this month. So let's see. Pet is going to get $20. I'm not going to put anything towards health because we're already going to be using it, so it wouldn't make any sense to do that. So I'm going to skip putting anything in health since it has fully funded health. I try to keep $150. I also have a health flex plan or something that is taken out of my paycheck. So I have, I think, like $19 in there left that I will be using towards my copay close to the end of the year, so that'll use the rest of it. What else do we have? Dining, that gets $140 for the month. My spending gets $100. And my daughter has her own job, but I do like to give her some money, so I keep it in my wallet for her. I won't say I give it to her, just keep it in my wallet for her in case she needs something. And miscellaneous gets $50 for the month. So let's see what this comes out to be. $980. All right, $980 for the month for those things. Brings us down to $477. And then what comes next is going to be our always fund. So now we can save whatever's left. Always fund, I always try to take out $440 for these things. So we have $477 left. So let's take out the $440 that I have. It's going to leave us with $37. These are kind of priority savings funds. I call it the always fund because every paycheck these will always get some money. Put $50 in home emergency, $50 in home maintenance, $60 in school transportation. That's for any college visits. I put $80 towards my spending or my savings for the month. Family fund, we'll put $50 in there. I may use that for the entertainment. So for the festival that we have here, clam bake, I like to take some cash. It's already paid in advance. The good thing about it this time was that if you pay for it and you show up, they give you the money back for it. So I didn't have to budget for that, which is nice. This is the first time that it's going to be essentially free as long as you show up, and I will be there one way or the other. $80 is going to go into Christmas. Extra utility. My plan is to put $40 a month, but I am going to try to put more. Let's see what we have left. We have $70 left. So let's put that whole thing to extra utilities, because utilities is concerning me. I do have a savings account that has about $100 in there that I've saved, but I have a feeling this winter, if summer was this much, winter is going to be way more than I expected to be. So we're just preparing in advance. That's what we're doing. We're preparing in advance. That leaves me with $37 in my, what most people call sinking funds. I'm calling them don't sink funds. So these are just extra things that will come up throughout the year that I know that I need to put money aside for. Let's see, we're going to put, usually I would have about $60 to put in here for the month, but we don't. We have $37. So let's be strategic about where we're going to put it. Home decor, I'm going to put $20 for home decor. And then for my daughter's bonus envelope, I'm going to put $10. I'm really hoping my paychecks are more than I expect them to be. Usually they are, but I'd rather estimate my budget, my income on the low end, and then I estimate my bills on the high end. All right, that zeroes out. So we have our September budget all good to go. The last thing that I like to do is to highlight my areas and the categories that they will go into. Okay. So the green is savings. These are all things that I'm going to be saving all together. That's the plan anyway. So for the monthly budget, I have two separate planners that I have. So for the monthly budget, I don't fill in, at least August will be the first time that I'm trying this. So I'm setting this up for September. We'll see how August goes. I don't like to fill in the budget area yet until I get to my bi-weekly budgets. Then at the end of the month, I can see how much I budgeted in each paycheck for each category and see how much I spent for the whole month and put it in the actual. That's the plan anyway, since I'm budgeting bi-weekly. It's because I want to see what I spent with the actual numbers, the actual budget that I have for each paycheck. So that's why I fill that out last. But in all, it looks like we're going to be saving $80 $827. So let's see. I don't usually do this, but I do want to put that there, because I at least want to make sure I hit that savings goal if possible for the month. That is the September monthly budget. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Honestly, it's just kind of like my guideline of where I want everything to go. Question of the day is, what are some things that you put in your budget that I don't put in mine? Like something that's maybe important to you that I don't prioritize in my budget that maybe I'm even forgetting about. So what's something that you put in your budget that you don't see me put in mine, or that's unique to just your family? All right, that's it for me today. I really appreciate you watching. I hope this video helped you. If you got any tips at all that you might use in your budget or you might suggest to a friend, please do me a favor and like the video. It helps others that are in the same situation find the videos. Subscribe if you would like to see more. I do keep you guys on top of my budget. So anytime I do it, I upload it in real time so you guys can see how things are going. But the next thing that you'll see me do is setting up my 12-week year, which also starts on September 8th. So I'm excited about that. 12-week years always keep me on track. It's a good way to be consistent, stay on top of the goals, and to make sure you're actually taking steps toward them every day, every week. All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I want you to always remember it is about progression and not about perfection. Happy saving. Bye.